is to realize that we and they are really, truly kindred spirits.
He's been arguing with my mother and threatening to throw her out. Your mother never does anything for you, he tells me.
I didn't tell you to check what your wife has been up to, just for you to turn a blind eye to it. I'm going to make you face up to her whoring around.
When you told me to give Ib a job, I did exactly that. But he takes ages to bring a jug of water.
You're still no man. You can't even get your wife pregnant. And another thing, you're the biggest miser around. You never give anyone anything.
By the time Ramesses was in his 40s, his tomb had been finished for several years. With the average Egyptian life expectancy at around 35 years, Ramesses must have known that he was already living on borrowed time. He focused his attention on securing his legacy, siring children to succeed him on the golden throne. As well as his chief wife Nefertari, Ramesses had a number of minor wives in his harem. He even married 3 of his own daughters.
In his inscriptions, he boasts of something like 80 sons and something like 60 daughters, although the number of daughters is about a lot vaguer than the number of sons. But he boasts of a huge offspring, and he's rather like one of those modern dictators who are known as father of their country, in many cases literally.
Confident that he had produced an heir, Ramesses turned with renewed vigor to his building program. Soon the Nile Valley began to overflow with monuments dedicated to Egypt's greatest king.
When Ramesses builds, he builds big. It is enormous. It's on a scale that has never really been seen in Egypt.
Everywhere, Ramesses' title could be seen carved into rock. Hieroglyphs that read, Ruler of Rulers.
Practically every town in Egypt gets its temple either rebuilt or refounded, or revamped. Ramesses isn't modest. If he sees a rather nice monument, let's say an obelisk, put up by a previous king, he puts his own names all over the obelisk as well.
Where great temples already existed, such as here at Luxor, Ramesses simply erected a new entrance, with 4 statues of himself to claim the temple as his own. At Karnak, Egypt's holiest temple, all the pharaohs of the new kingdom had built monuments. But Ramesses soon outdid them all. In the great hypostyle hall begun by his grandfather, Ramesses ordered a work of awesome proportions. An army of artisans carved a field of 134 columns in the shape of papyrus. Each column stood 69 feet tall, 6 feet wide, and weighed over 100 tons. The Greeks, the Romans, even Napoleon would one day attempt to emulate its grandeur.
It doesn't seem to be the work of human beings, it is on such a scale. It looks as though it's very much part of the personality of the man to have to prove a point. He's always scoring points over everybody else.
Through propaganda, diplomacy, and a building program that humbled his rivals, Ramesses had finally become the legend he had set out to create. The boy king born a commoner was truly Ramesses the Great. But at the height of Ramesses' reign, just when his empire seemed stronger than ever, tragedy struck. Ramesses' chief wife, Nefertari, died.